everybody, I'm Kelly Ellers.
Jeffrey Lennon.
And this is Volume Up by the Tees. Jeff, here we are. It's today. It's almost the new year. What are you up to? How's it been so far?
So still eating holiday cookies.
Oh, yeah.
It's the plan. Oh, yeah. It's going all the way through 2021. Things are looking really good insofar as the cookies look great. And
okay.
I'm enjoying them. Yeah, it's like this weird no man's land time-wise between Xmas and New Year. And yeah, so we're in the thick of it. Welcome.
Welcome. Hey, did you see that, speaking of the new year, that Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen are doing this special where they take shots? It's like live. I mean, I know they apparently like to have a cocktail or two, but they both have babies now.
They've got babies. What are they doing? I feel like, honestly, when is Andy Cohen not drunk?
That's true.
Like, right? Like, because he's drinking all the time on Watch What Happens Live or whatever. I just, like, maybe he's not drinking in the reunion specials with Housewives. But all of that is to say, I'll probably watch it. Like, what else am I going to do?
I'm going to watch
socially
it.
distancing.
I just think for Anderson Cooper, I don't know. If he's a heavy drinker, I guess we'll find out, huh?
We'll definitely see if he can go toe-to-toe. I feel like he probably could.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. They're healthy. They work out. Like,
true. Well, you know what? We'll see. We'll report back, won't we?
We certainly will.
On last week's podcast, we spoke to Monet Everett, stylist to the stars, on diversity in the industry, from Hollywood to brands and cosmetology education. You know, it's the life of a stylist. I mean, she's full PPE, working on celebrities and, you know, taking all of the safety precautions. But wow, has her life changed? Well, I guess all of ours, but.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the idea of like her in this dystopian way, like hairdressing people for being on camera without PPE, like it's a brand new world. And she talked to us a lot about it and continues to talk about it on her own Instagram as she's sort of documenting what life as a celebrity hairstylist is in 2020 into 2021. The episode is fantastic. If you're not following her, you definitely should. Check out the show notes on our previous episodes. You can see where to go. If you liked last week's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Read the Tees, and send questions to volumeup@thetees.com.
Today's episode is going to be a little different. It's December 28th, which means many of you are on PTO. You're curling up, watching the Netflix holiday movies. I'm not a Hallmark gal, so I'm not necessarily. Or prepping for your scaled down New Year's Eve party. Today's episode, we have part 2 from Jen and Matt Martinelli, where they outline how their focus on wellness and intention is key to their entrepreneurial success. But before we get there, we want to introduce our limited edition, never been done before segment, recapping our top 10 of 2020.
Here's how this is going to work. Kelly and I will share our 5 favorite hair, beauty, or culture moments from 2020. The good, because for sure there's gotta have been something good that came from this year.
Yeah.
The bad, and definitely the ugly. The ugly, we're definitely going to get into that, so don't worry. The other person is going to rate the thing that we say on a scale of 1, which is meh, to 10, which is amazing, all of the exclamation points. We're going to share these on our Instagram stories and TikTok today, and the fan with the best response or comments to what we post will receive a free gift from the Tees.
Ooh, gifting is my love language.
And we're going to send that gift just in time for you to enjoy your socially distant New Year's Eve. Do it up big. Self-care all the way, baby.
All the way. Also, this is our first ever game or contest, if you will, on Volume Up. So let's heat up the competition.
Let's do it. Kelly, start us off.
All right. My number 1 for 2020, by far favorite hair moment, happened back in September when the House of Representatives passed the Crown Act. Y'all better know what that is. It is led by the Crown Coalition, founded by Dove, which kudos P&G, Dove, to create a law that prohibits race-related hair discrimination. So this bill passed by the House of Representatives gets us one step closer to making discrimination illegal in all 50 states, because come on.
Okay. I mean, honestly, not much better than that in 2020. There's been a lot of terrible. That is not a terrible thing. That is the opposite. So, scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving that a 10 because, I mean, why would we be allowed to discriminate against people's hair texture in the US in 2020 or any year? So, definitely 10. We're thrilled about this. If only the Senate would do its job and actually pass that bill, we'd love that.
We'd love it. Get after it. And number 2, which I have a hard pass, hard no. This is going to be controversial between us. Mullets. Jeff, I know you're going to go hard that this is totally something that is important. I think the mullet kicked off. I think the mullet kicked off and reminded us of its disturbing power at the start of COVID with the Tiger King himself, which seems like a far distant memory, right? And then you have Miley, and I'm sure there's others, but I'm turning a blind eye to the mullet.
Wow. So it's a 1 for you.
It's a 1.
It's like a negative for you. You're like very
it's approaching 0.
That's tough. For me, it's a 10. I mean, you called it. Like, I'm all about a mullet, specifically Miley Cyrus's mullet. Like, there's nothing more exciting than a mullet right now. If I had hair, I would consider it. It would not go over well for me. I don't have the face to pull off such a daring haircut. But I mean, wow, wow, wow. So 10 for me, 1 for you.
1. And Miley, you and your great social media team, you're trying to make the mullet happen. So you've won over Jeff.
Yep. 1 of 2.
1 over me. You're 50.
Right.
You're batting 50. You bat 50-50.
I don't know anything about that, so can't comment. Won't comment. In fact,
you're batting 100.
All right. So for me, one of my best of 2020 is the buzzed and bleached look. I rocked it myself. Mm-hmm. I naturally would give it a 10. On the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being amazing, it's amazing. I dyed my hair a million different colors this year, as did so many other folks. What would you rate it? Are you pro this? Or are you against this?
Okay. So I feel you on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being meh, 10 being amazing. I give that one a solid 8.
Okay.
A solid 8. I could be pushed to a 9 because I have very much enjoyed your kaleidoscope of looks in 2020.
Well, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. I feel like we should all be saying 10. It's a little bit disheartening that you're at an 8/9, but I mean,
are
that's
you going to take that personal?
No, because I'm not bleached any longer, so I can't really vouch for the trend. But I liked it a lot. It was a thing.
I liked it. And people are very artistic. I mean, I broke down and did not buzz cut my son, but I did bleach it down. Oh gosh, I shouldn't say that. With my mom's assistant, who's a licensed professional, and then put in some paints, some Wella Color Charm paints. The blue hue, bluish turquoise. So, I could be pushed a little closer to a 10 is what I'm getting at.
Okay. We'd love to see it.
Okay. My next one is it's so dicey. It's just a hard no. There was this trend on TikTok, and your skin's going to crawl. I'm just warning you. I don't even think you should Google it. It's that bad. It's called scalp popping. And it is this trend on TikTok. I don't know who in the world would have thought of this, but it's basically you take your fingers and you got like a little twist of hair and wait for it. You pull it up really hard and it makes a popping sound. People were going crazy doing this. And then of course, experts had to be like, no, you're pulling I can't even hardly say it. So let's hope that Twitter little challenge has died. I mean, TikTok challenge has died down because that is literally too much to handle.
Wow. Okay. So I didn't know that was a thing. I'm not a TikToker, so that could be part of the problem. but I'm going to give that a 1. I'm not hot on that one. That would be like a 0 if I could.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Ugh,
Don't do that.
Makes me sick.
No, don't do that because then the hair's coming out and the follicles are damaged. It's ridiculous. I mean, flip the bottle, right? You know that where the kids take the plastic bottle, like do that instead.
We're pro bottle flipping, not pro scalp popping. Got it.
That's hard to recover from, to be honest.
That's tough. And from that, we're going to go into something else that's kind of hard to recover from, which is Britney Spears and her rose thing. Like, I don't even know what to call what she's doing with roses and flowers. And she's like posting, obviously, to her Instagram, which hotbed of controversy in terms of what's real and is it a cry for help, etc. But like the rose thing, she said there's going to be this project that she's doing and to like look into captions with the emojis and the flower. Like, I can't make heads or tails of it. I don't like that for her. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm 1.
Yeah, okay.
I want good things for Britney, but this is not one of those good things.
I want so much for Britney. I feel like we grew up as best friends, although we've never met. But yeah, I mean, the glory days have so faded. I feel like somebody needs to help her.
Oh, for sure.
The flowers in the hair, the filters, the mysterious rose messages. I hope it's not a call for help, but kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah. I mean, hashtag free Britney. We're all about that life.
Hey, Britney, like, we're here. I think she's probably in LA. That's where you are.
Yeah, I could be made available should
like Ms. a quick latte or to chat over. Yeah,
we could go for a joyride to get a frap. What was the little dog's name?
Don't know.
No, I was gonna say Bun Bun, but it's not Bun Bun. It's something equally absurd. Anyway, Britney, we want good things for you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you're coming in.
I mean, you were at a 1, right?
Yeah, I don't want the flowers for her.
I mean, I don't want any of it for her, so I'm going to agree with you on a 1. I don't. I just want good things. Like maybe she could, I don't know. I've got a lot of opinions, clearly, and I'll save them for another time. So the next one on my list is a hell yes for me. So it's the all 90s everything, the mom jeans, because if you didn't have a pair of Z Cavariccis or Pepe jeans, I don't know who you were or are. I love the giant accessories, the modern shag, because who doesn't love that? I also could just die for some great crimped hair. So the crimper, if you don't know, gets you some really good volume at the roots. And that's what everyone wants, or I do, because again, it is deep rooted in my veins from my hairdresser mom that said, Kel, before you leave, poof up your hair a little bit. So the crimper is going to help you with that.
Wow. I mean, who doesn't know what a crimper is at this point? So to get to the root of it, the 90s thing, it's a 10. The root.
That was amazing.
10 out of 10 for sure on that scale. Like there's nothing better than the 90s at the moment. Although like some of it I would maybe leave versus take, but for the most part, I'm in agreement. 10 on this scale. All right. So these are all leading for me. I'm like, these are 10s. But I'm going to say big, ugly dad sneakers. 2020 was all about the ugly shoe. I'm also all about the ugly shoe. So for me, it's a 10 out of 10. I've got too many pairs of ugly shoes. My wife can attest to it. How do you come down on the issue of an ugly shoe? 1, 10, 5? I'm
a shoe connoisseur personally. I would say my husband is as well, but his lean more towards the Air. Oh, what are those called? Oh, the Air Force One.
Okay.
So they are big, but they aren't necessarily
it's a classic.
Yeah, it's classic. I mean, back to the 90s, right? I know and don't really want to hurt your feelings on the shoes that you like, but I can't really get behind it. I'm going to go more solidly towards a 3.
Oh.
But you and I have fundamental shoe differences.
We do.
You're a Croc. I'm a no Croc. You're a dad shoe. I'm a no dad shoe.
These are immutable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. Well,
we agree to disagree on shoes.
as is our right to do.
But yeah, we keep it strong. We keep it, amicable. Okay. Next up for me is the obvious Schitt's Creek winning all of the awards and giving us a piece of enjoyment this year that was like none other. I mean, did you watch it, Jeff? You watched it.
All of it. Of course. It's a 10 for me on a scale of, it's a 10, always a 10.
I mean, I want to be Moira. Is that surprising?
No, it's the least surprising update that we're going to get on this podcast.
Yeah. Just unbelievable. And, I don't have any wigs though. So I feel like that would probably be a good first step.
I mean, you're plenty young. There's time to invest.
I feel like I can slide into that in like the next 10 years. Like I've got ample runway.
Is there a specific Moira look that you would opt for? Like a wig moment that was especially,
I feel like
all of them.
I can't even narrow it down. Like the styling and the wardrobe and the hair was so on point, like unbelievable. I mean, kudos to that stylist, like, right?
Agreed. We should interview her or him or whomever my God. Well, I mean, so it's a 10 for me. 10 for you, 10 for me.
10. Here we go. We can agree on that. Let's go.
Yep.
All right.
So for me, another big moment in 2020 was Harry Styles gender bending fashion, doing all of the damn things, wearing dresses left, right, and center, especially most recently, famously on the cover of Vogue. I give it a 10 out of 10. What's not to like? Especially the cover with the Gucci dress. Like, it's incredible. Like, good for him. I know he's got something going with Gucci. He's got like a friendship with the lead designer, Alessandro Michel. But I mean, incredible. The baby blue, you can't beat it. But I think you are going to beat it.
I think I can beat it. I believe it was a frock, not a dress, to be clear.
Fair.
And I'm here for it. I'm rating this a 10. I love Harry Styles and his artistic ability in many areas and creativity. But what really just literally tied a bow around it, and please Google this image because there's a bow on it.
Please.
It was like good. Was his 2019 Met Gala look. So the single dangly pearl earring.
Classic.
The high-waisted trousers. It was amazing. So he was a looker. Yeah. More details the better. Okay.
Yes. 10 out of 10. We agree. Look at that.
And rounding it out for me, at a solid hell no, is the trend of puzzles in 2020. Now, there are people in my family that really like puzzles. And they try to convince me to participate in the puzzle making every time we're together. And the answer is always no. But what I have and plan to take up in the next week when I have a little time off is cross stitch. I've got the little pictures that I'm going to do that with, and I'm going to grow. I'm going to widen my horizons. So
as you've got to, 2020 is all about that, right? I'm also a hell no to the puzzles. It's a 1 out of no, you're not going to convince me to do that.
Why is it fun to have a puzzle with an impossible looking gradient of colors that are very similar? You mix them all up and you try to put them back together. It's nearly impossible.
I mean, it's just, it takes something that I don't possess. Yeah. Yep.
I don't read directions and I don't put together puzzles.
Last up for me, 2020 was big on the cauliflower. I've never eaten so much cauliflower in all of my life, except for this year. Cauliflower in pizza, cauliflower as rice, fried, buffalo wings style. Like, it's a thing maybe in LA. So for me, it's a 10. I liked it. I'm not upset about it, but yeah. What about you?
I think it's pretty close to a 9. I can get there. Okay. I don't like the riced cauliflower.
Not my favorite.
A hunk of cauliflower. And then perhaps in a crust, as you mentioned. And I have tried it as a buffalo wing, but like, that's not right. I don't. And
What's not right about it? I
I
think
don't know. The texture just throws me, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, but I can, maybe it was just one bad experience. I'm willing to try
again. Yeah. If anything, 2020 has given us that opportunity to try things again. So,
hey, any hot vegetable predictions for 2021, Jeff?
I feel like the artichoke is ripe for a comeback. Why
I
not?
like that you wove in right. That was good.
Like I feel like totally unintentional.
Okay, the avocado had a moment, still having one. Cauliflower had a moment, still having one. I'll be really interested on what the next one is. Like, it's not going to be broccoli. It's not.
No, it can't be.
So we'll see what 2021 brings.
And there you have it, our top 10 of 2020. What did you guys think? Where do you fall on the scales? Are you a 1? Are you a 10? Are you a 5? Are you a 3? Let us know. Find it all on Instagram and on TikTok. Please, we want to hear from you. And you could win. That's the thing, right? Like you could win a gift from the teas.
It's a good gift. There might even be multiple. Fun stuff. Okay, so without further ado, here is part 2 of our interview with the co-founders of Canvas Me and their holistic wellness tips for you in 2021.
Putting the positive vibes out there for 2021. What are your predictions for what's to come for our industry, for salon pros, for business owners? Talk to us a little bit about that.
It's going to be a lot more about like purposeful meetings or purposeful appointments, more purpose, longer appointments that, create these, we've been talking about these experiential moments, but now more than ever, you must get on board with what that experiential moment means, right? Because you have less guests, more time. So how we can really create those relationships. But I think sustainability is going to be really huge, right? Like, how do you, not even just sustainability, but like, how do you, just really kind of advocate for your community, and how do you do things for the greater good, right? All these Gen Zers are, if you ever talk to a Gen Z or even millennials that are on the cusp, right? Like they're all about how they're going to make this world a better place. And I'm not saying that we should do that because that's what they're doing, but I think they have something going for them. And I think it's a really powerful thing that when these young kids are, that's what's on their forefront of their mind, is to make this world a better place. And sustainability is one of the biggest things that they're really kind of looking at. And so how can we just be a good citizen and a good person in our communities, and be a voice? And I know that we said that a lot, but I really think it's just going to be really magnified. And then that creates longer, meaningful relationships with our clients, right? Like we can talk about those things in their appointment. We can share with them how this is making a difference, how them coming in is going to change XYZ, right? How we're partaking in a walk on Friday because you're able to come to this place of business and do these things, right? So I think that level of just like how we're going to change the world is just going to be a really big part of the conversation for brands.
I think too, overall, I think a different approach to that is you're going to see salons and beauty businesses become a lot more efficient. They're going to be leveraging technology, become leaner, to save money, to save time, whether it's within their four walls or whether it's marketing, or whether it's recruitment, or whether it's bringing in new customers to their businesses. So again, I think you're going to see a lot more people adapting to leveraging technology to make their lives easier and more efficient.
Well, I think a lot of people are doing it now, but like the virtual consultation, that's really huge right now. Like people are really starting to okay, let's do a virtual consultation so that before we get there, when you come here, we can have a really good idea of we could just hit play and go. So I think you're going to see a lot of really, like Matt said, a lot of use of technology. But again, that huge, how are you as a business going to change the world is going to be a hot topic of conversation, and understanding your purpose and understanding your why is going to help you understand which direction you take that in.
Yeah.
That's, again, showing evolution. Where else could the salon professional space evolve? There's some movement, but there's progress to be made. Where do you guys feel like that space is?
In terms of evolution, we say it all the time. We really feel like owners need to go back and revisit their purpose. And I know that sounds like such an easy answer, but I feel like you get into the hustle, you get into the game, and now all these trials and tribulations are happening and everything in the world is changing. And it's like, you forget like that magic, that moment that gave you the hustle, that moment that you remembered that you were never going to give up. Right. And so I think it's so important to kind of go back to, like, I feel like our future is all about trust and authenticity. You hear everybody's talking about like trust, authenticity, and empathy, compassion, right? Like those are words that like are key words that are just all day, every day from every, person that you're watching. And so I just think that they really need to kind of hone in on and go back to that root, right? Because that purpose and that passion, that empowered Matt and I to quit our jobs and move across country with 2 little kids and risk everything, right? And at one point, these business owners did the same thing. And it's almost like you get to a point in life where you almost forget, that at one point you risked everything for this, right? And why? And why did you do that? And getting back to that and sharing that story in a really awesome way can create a movement of people who are willing to march behind you.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's called empathetic marketing. Right. And whether you're trying to attract people to come into your salon to cut their hair, or you're trying to attract talent to come work for you, you need to have that. It's got to be a big part of your mission and vision. Because if you're not really discovering your purpose and sharing that, especially with the young kids coming out of school, we see it all the time. They would rather work for a brand that's empowering the community, that's standing for something, than work for someone that's paying them more.
Yes.
Right.
They would choose that over
they would choose
pay,
that purpose, and that knowing that they're like going to be affecting people's lives, then know that they're going to get a higher paycheck somewhere else, right? So understanding that purpose and having that capability to have a marketing plan that's around empathy and compassion and trust and vulnerability is really what's going to allow you to be successful.
Well, it's going to amplify your business just from not only from the recruitment standpoint, but from whoever your audience is. Yeah. So from even a consumer standpoint and driving business. And so I think even just like moving forward for our industry, so like being a good human, right? Like what is your story? How can you hone in on those story components? Sharing that with your audience, whoever that audience is, from a trust and authentic place. But I think inclusivity, right? Like we talked about inclusivity, but like how are you standing for a cause? How are you championing for a voice based on your story, based on your past? How are you championing for that underdog, for that whoever it is? That's part of your story, and how are you doing that in your local communities? Yeah. And I think those are the brands that are going to win, right? Those are the brands that are going to really hit home with every audience and really kind of have longevity and have a loyal following that are leading us into a really awesome future.
Yeah, and guys, it's not secret. Like happy employees lead to happy clients. It's the bottom line, right? So again, it's really how are you bringing those people in? How are you bringing those people to follow you and be a part of your mission and vision and affect and change lives around your community, right? So again, that's really, really important.
Yeah, we actually have one of our good friends that has a salon. He flies to other countries and helps like build schools and give water and do all this support. And then the one year he actually took a couple of his employees. Like, can you imagine the power? I mean, not that everybody can do that. That's something that's that massive, right? You can do something smaller in your local community on a smaller scale, but I can't even imagine what those employees felt like when they came back from that trip. The level of gratitude, the level of perspective that you're gifting to that person, they're forever indebted to you, right? Like when you're really intrinsically motivated to help your employees grow, like we hear a lot of leadership stories of people that are just fear-based mindset, right? Like fear-based leaders that just like, I'm afraid of you leaving me, so I'm going to like hold you hostage or, do these things. And I feel like what they're missing is that if you empower them to fly and have their own wings, they'll never leave you. And so I think that that's where we really need to get better with, is really going back to that purpose and from an authentic place. And then being the voice and, with our companies, being able to be the voice for those that don't have a voice. And I think,
I think as a leader, you need to be able to provide that professional growth, right? But when you can provide somebody that personal growth,
oh my God,
that's where you're really effective.
They'll be forever indebted.
That's great. I love it. It's combining, the industry passion and purpose and empathy. And, I always like to say, well, number one, I love me an underdog, right? I mean, let's go. Okay. and number two, I always like to say that I believe the nice girl or guy wins. And I think that there is something to that. And empathy is certainly a big part of business and will continue to be, as we are, physically disconnected from people a bit more. And as we all have a bit more of fear and anxiety in our life, right? Having that personal tie and connection in everything that's important to your life, whether it's your career, family, relationship, it's important. It's 2020. Goodbye 2020, but it's going to continue to be really important.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And I think the only way you can form those connections is by being real with yourself first.
What is your real talk words of advice for the pros who want to get to the top of our industry?
I always say the fear of regret is bigger than the fear itself, right? And so that became my mantra because my mentor helped me see that I had a very fear-based mindset to approach to doing a lot of things, right? And so, because of my childhood, I had this false belief that I wasn't good enough, right? It wasn't as good as all the other kids, and I grew up to think I wasn't good enough. And so I had a lot of fear-based mindset that if I put myself out there and I get a no, then I'm going to affirm to myself that I'm not good enough, right? And so I lived a lot of my life not living out my greatest potential until I started to talk to my mentor and my coach. And this is one of the things that stuck with me. I mean, she gave a lot of advice, but the fear of regret is bigger than the fear itself. So if you can imagine yourself in 10 years from now, in 5 years from now, right? In 3 years from now, looking back at yourself, right? What would you be saying to that person? Would you be telling her to go for it? Would you be telling her like, who cares if you don't get it, right? Like you're going to regret not trying. You're going to regret not doing this. And we come across so many people who are fearful to apply for things or to put themselves out there to do it. And I always say, like, I used to have this excuse of like, I'm not ready yet. I'm going to read more books. I'm going to like call this one. I'm going to learn more about that, right? And what I started to realize is everybody that was at my equal playing field surpassed me by 100, right? Because even though they weren't ready yet, they were at 40%, but they put themselves out there. And so when they put themselves out there and they went at their 40% became 80%, right? Because the experience of even if you fail is a learning experience, right? And so they started to surpass me in my whole career. And I kind of stayed in this stagnant, safe place, right? And so safe is not cool. And so, so really just the fear of regret is bigger than the fear itself. So imagine yourself, your 10-year-old version of yourself looking back. The number one thing people regret on their deathbeds is they regret that they didn't do something, right? And so really just kind of getting in that mindset and really, life is short. And so live out your dreams and even that failure, it's all about perception. And that failure is not failure, it's an opportunity of growth. And so a lot of people come to us and like, what do I do? How do I do? I'm so scared. And I'm like, listen. And once you tell them these, they're like pumped, right? And so just really kind of keeping that mantra at the forefront because the world is great and there's so much opportunity, but not if you don't take that opportunity.
Yeah.
What do you have? You have something different?
No, yeah, I do. I think for me, it was this whole journey the last year and a half is really focused around mindset. Listen, everybody has a really good idea. There's a lot of incredible artists out there that can do a lot of amazing things for brands or fashion week or whatever they want to do. It's the mindset. How are you going to get there? What is it going to take? Are you never going to stop to do whatever you need to do to get there, right? So the mindset for me is the hardest part because you're your own biggest critic, right? Like you're constantly doubting yourself. You're constantly saying like, is this going to work? Is someone going to do that? Are they going to love me? Like, again, you have to be practicing mindset. If you're really serious about hitting certain goals and becoming something that's really special or just something that you feel is an incredible achievement, it's all about mindset. So we practice emotional intelligence. We listen to mentors. We watch recordings of motivational speakers. We're always learning. We're always practicing mindset because being in a positive state to achieve any goal is imperative.
Yeah.
Right?
I think too, I love the mindset approach for yourself, but also energetically when you are on that mindset wavelength, you're also attracting other people in that positive space. Yeah. And so it sounds so funny, but like law of attraction is true. And I truly believe in it. It's like how you make people feel when they sit in your chair. Yeah, you can give them a great haircut, but how they feel when they leave, the kind of conversations that you had with them, the uplifting things that you're saying and your energy being really awesome and inviting, that also matters when you're going for that opportunity or you're making connections and you want to, like, hey, that girl was so positive and happy. I'm going to call her, right? And so from a mindset perspective, not just for yourself, but also energetically for the goals that you want to achieve.
And then one tip that really helped me, and it helps me every single day, is I wrote down 3 goals that I want to accomplish, whether it's in a week, whether it's in a year, whether it's in 6 months, whatever it is. And then ask yourself one question every single day. Is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to my goals? And if it's not, stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's something I ask myself every single day. It could be as simple as scouring Instagram or watching ESPN or putting on a Netflix. Is what you're doing right now getting you closer to those goals? And if it's not, you have 5 seconds, stop what you're doing, right? So that's something I ask myself every day, and it's really helped me kind of keep me on track. Especially, Jen and I, we're lucky we have each other to keep ourselves accountable, but a lot of people don't have that. So you need to keep yourself. No one's going to help you. You need to help yourself.
So speaking of getting your energy right and helping yourself, what brand or product are the two of you obsessed with right now?
Kombucha. We are avid celery juicers. So we juice celery every single morning. So like mind, body, everything, right? So like we meditate every morning. I am obsessed with like Deepak Chopra and Gabby Bernstein. We juice our celery and we drink our kombucha.
Yep.
And that is every day. Like that is a religious, like every single day we do.
We also have like our vision boards that we look at every day. I think that's a huge thing, again, just to keep that positive mindset. Manifestation, we're big with that too. I think it just keeps us like on the right flow, right? So I think the kombucha helps, the celery juicing, the meditation. It's all about the mindset, honestly, guys.
Loving that. Are you guys streaming anything? TV, movies, music?
Audibles.
Yeah.
I listen to Audible. So right now I'm listening to a Tony Robbins Audible. But it's like the money wealth management or something. I don't even remember. It's not that boring of a title. I forget what the title is, but, I really like Tony Robbins stuff. I love Gabby Bernstein, The Universe Has Your Back. I listen to that on Audible like 70 times. And every time I'm having a bad day, I literally just go back to it and I hit like a chapter and I just listen to it. I watched Tony Robbins, I Am Not Your Guru. Very boring over here, guys. All mindset.
Not boring. This is incredible. People are going to love this.
No, I truly believe like, just like a diet, right? Like what you eat, like impacts your health, and just like going to the gym, you don't go to the gym one day and all of a sudden you're physically fit. So like the mindset game is like, is all day, right? Is all the time. It's a lifestyle. So, we really believe in like the detox of like news and information and people. And so I really believe if I just ingest all the positivity and all the energy and listen to all these mindset gurus and can live my life according to these beautiful mantras, no matter what's going on in the world, I can keep it together. And I can also help. And the magic of this all becomes is not only did I help myself, guys, but the magic and the power is when I get on the phone with that scared student or that cosmetology, licensed professional who's like going to do something really scary, I can help coach them. I can help them understand all of these mindset tricks. We helped somebody the other day. She was going on an interview and I'm like, when you're driving there, clap a lot of times and smile the whole way.
Well, not while you're driving. When she was stopped at a red light.
But like we're teaching them all these things. And guys, it's so powerful and it's so awesome because not only are we nourishing ourselves, but then we feel really fulfilled because that's what life is about, right? Like it's about being fulfilled and helping other people grow. And so we're constantly able to like share these tips and tricks. And so I literally am just obsessed. She did. She got the job. Guys, it's so exciting. But yeah, so I mean, that's all we do all day is we take care of our mind, body, and soul. It's just one, and it all like is like I noticed it was Halloween the other day and I literally ate like a pound of candy because it was there and it was so delicious. And then I felt like crap, And so it's funny because even Matt used to intermittent fast in the morning. I'm like, don't intermittent fast. You have to eat breakfast. It's so important. But I started to notice no matter what I ate in the morning, my body would shut down. And so I started like, okay, celery juice, I'll do a cup of coffee and then I don't eat till 11, 12 o'clock and I am on fire, right? And so you really have to just paying attention to that level of awareness. And so yeah, we're mindset junkies and I love it.
That was great. Thanks for that. And thanks for the wrap up. I love your positivity. And I didn't even know these things about you. And I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some celery now, right? I don't know.
That's why we love each other. We're just like vibing on the good energy.
I'm going to give you a tip though. Once you start the celery, you got to like, the first couple of days, you got to make sure you're home because
it is a full detox.
It's a full detox.
That's fair.
Okay.
Well, I'm exclusively at home these days, so I feel like I'm in the best position to start juicing. Basically.
Sure are.
We had a friend that we were like, you got to try it. So she went out the next day, got celery juice, and she was driving her husband to work. sitting in traffic. It was not a good experience.
No good.
Not good. She called us like a day later. It was a bad situation.
Yes, it was a good story though.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Jen and Matt, thank you guys so much for your time, for speaking with us. We loved hearing from you. So many incredible gems that people are going to listen back to over and over and over again. And again, all of the inspo for that celery juice. Where can people find Canvas Me? How can they get a part of this? How can they build their portfolio? Tell us a little bit about that before we wrap.
You can go to canvasme.com. Creating a portfolio as a professional is absolutely free. Creating a portfolio as a student is absolutely free. We want to empower you to have a voice, so we don't want to have anything blocking you from that. So yeah, you just hit the Get Started button. You can also find us on Instagram. We're at CanvasMe. So you can check out some of the mentors and some of the students that we've interviewed and some really awesome stuff. And then you can reach us at hello@canvasme.com. Very easy.
Incredible. Thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Very blessed. Thank you.
We never talked about that it could be celery that has its moment in 2021. I mean, whether raw or juiced.
I wonder if Matt and Jen have any predictions on that.
I feel like they'd pick celery. Mm-hmm. Although, I mean, like, honestly, they're talking about it, made me want to consider it. I don't especially like celery juice, but they seemed to be very happy and keyed in on what they want to do. And maybe celery juice is the key.
I like celery whole, not juiced. But I think the celery juice comes with a lot of benefits.
It certainly sounds like it. They've got me considering drinking it. And I feel like that's something. I've got it. No, it's like a high power blender, which we could make juice. But yeah, not the same. We're not juicing people. But they covered way more than juicing. So, I mean, so very interesting. I feel like the mindfulness is key for 2020 and definitely 2021. They've got so much going on Canvas Me, and it was interesting to hear from them in terms of like what inspires it, like what lights the fire for them. And yeah, we're just so happy that they were able to impart some of their pearls of wisdom with us.
So you know what? If celery juice isn't for you, that's okay. There are so many ways that we can focus on intention for 2021.
And there's champagne. So enjoy, celebrate safely, wear a mask, try not to keep this whole coronavirus thing going, won't you? We're trying.
And to our beloved industry, let's open those salons back. We wish you a wonderful start to your 2021.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. It's been a blast. Make sure to get in touch with us at Volume Up the Teas if you've got ideas, if you want to be featured. We'd love to hear from you.
Be sure to hit subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Read the Teas. And send in questions to volumeup@theteas.com. Rumor has it, Jeffrey will be checking even on New Year's Eve.
Imagine that. Volume Up is the Teas Media production. This episode was produced by Monica Hickey and Steven Jodorand. Thank you to our creative team, Kay Reynolds and Haley Hefner, for putting together the graphics for this episode, and to Josh Landowski for editing so that you guys can watch and listen on YouTube.